Hello, my motor enthusiasts. Lewis Hamilton's performance has been a bit shaky at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, struggling with the rear of his Mercedes W15 and encountering issues on the track. Meanwhile, his teammate George Russell seemed more comfortable, even though he believes there's room for improvement. They both realized the importance of qualifying on a street circuit, with Russell suggesting Red Bull's Max Verstappen might have a slight edge in long-run pace. Traffic was another challenge they faced, despite improvements made by the FIA. Stay tuned as we delve deeper into their strategies, potential threats from Ferrari and Aston Martin, and the intense competition expected ahead. Greetings everyone, your faithful host Enzo here.
And joining him today, it's your favorite commentator, William.
Make sure you're tuning in every day on F1 Motor Fever podcast. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Full throttle, let's dive right in. It seems Lewis Hamilton had a bit of a rough day out there, struggling with the rear of his Mercedes W15 during the practice sessions at the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. He had some significant moments on the track and even faced an investigation over an impeding incident with Logan Sargent. Now, this resulted in a €15,000 fine for the Mercedes team. Hamilton himself admitted he's lacking confidence in the car's rear end, something crucial at high speeds. He's quite keen to find a more stable rear to feel comfortable. Quite a challenging day, don't you think?
Absolutely, especially when you contrast it with George Russell's day. He seemed more at ease with his car, ending up near the top of the timesheets in both practice hours. Russell's comfort with his car seems to have incited the team to explore different setup directions. Very intriguing.
As we mentioned, George Russell seems to be having a significantly better time in Jeddah than Hamilton. Even though he termed the second free practice session as a bit scrappy, he's positive about the high-speed circuit. Russell admitted they were testing various setups during the practice sessions to understand the car better. He's optimistic about what the team can achieve tomorrow, but he emphasized the need for continuous learning with the new car.
Can you elaborate more on the different setups they were testing? How exactly would that impact the car's performance?
Certainly. When we talk about different setups, we're referring to changes made to the configuration of the car. Things like suspension settings, wing angles, tire pressure, and gear ratios. Adjusting these elements can dramatically influence how the car handles and performs. For example, a car setup for a high-speed track like Monza would prioritize top speed and feature a low downforce setup, while a car setup for a twisty circuit like Monaco would focus on maximizing grip and maneuverability, thus featuring a high downforce setup. In this instance, Mercedes, with Hamilton and Russell, were widely testing different setups to find what works best for them.
It's quite fascinating how these little changes can have such a massive impact on the track.
Indeed, it is. Russell also commented on the difficulty in following other cars, with Red Bull, notably Max Verstappen, appearing to have the edge in long-run pace. He predicts a tight competition, similar to Bahrain, with Ferrari and Aston Martin shaping up to be their biggest threats. So it's all to play for as we move towards qualifying. George Russell also shared his insights about the challenges of driving at the Jeddah Corniche circuit. He described it as exhilarating, but admitted to visibility issues making it difficult, especially when dealing with traffic on the circuit. A relevant point considering the incident between Hamilton and Sargent.
It's interesting, isn't it? How these high-speed, thrilling circuits also pose unique challenges to the drivers. Could you tell us more about this new feature on the steering wheel that the FIA introduced?
Absolutely, it's a fascinating update. It's essentially a digital display on the steering wheel that provides drivers with information regarding cars in front and behind them, including the gaps. This certainly enhances the driver's situational awareness. However, Russell points out, it does have its limitations. For instance, it may not provide a clear picture if there are multiple cars behind on a slower lap and a car traveling at high speed approaching. Nonetheless, it's a significant step forward in terms of on-track safety.
Safety advancements are always welcome. It's evident that every aspect of this sport, from car setup to on-track safety, is continually evolving. The excitement of Formula One never ceases to amaze me. This sport, and indeed this upcoming Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, promises to be filled with fascinating tales of both struggle and triumph.
William, would you mind giving us a taste of the chatter happening on the internet?
Sure thing. Let's see what we've got here. Just a moment. Here we go. A post from user Emmanuel Nubat FIFA says, quote, Telegraph Sport reports that Christian Horner's accuser has been suspended by Red Bull, unquote.
Oh, that sounds like a juicy bit of news. What are people saying about it?
Well, user Patrick Boo responds, quote, luckily for Horner, it came out before the press conference. Now he'll have something to talk about, unquote. Another user, Carlos Lett, asked, quote, so, Saudi Arabia, what do you guys want to talk about, unquote.
A bit of a subject change there, I see.
Indeed. However, user Simon G replied, quote, Horner needs to finish his story, unquote. This led to a rather break-timers interesting thread where users sang a song about Red Bull, believe it or not. User The AJ Powell kicked it off with, quote, Red Bull, in my soul, Alpine's car out of control, unquote, and it continued from there.
Ha! That's brilliant. Anything else worth noting?
Let's see. User Mark Bonker had an insightful comment saying, quote, quite simple. Wrestling fans and F1 fans like their interests for very similar reasons. It's because of the behind-the-scenes drama is often just as, if not more fun to follow than the flashy product they present us, unquote. And finally, an amusing comment from user Raoul Zen, quote, wait, what do you mean pretend? It's still real to me, unquote.
I see you've saved the best for last, William Turner. Well, there you have it, folks. The internet is indeed a treasure trove of humor, insight, and of course, some peculiarities. Well, that's a wrap for today's episode of F1 Motor Fever podcast. We've had quite an insightful discussion on the recent race, a bit about the upcoming Grand Prix in Saudi Arabia, and even touched on some internet banter. A huge thanks to all of you for joining us. We'd love to hear your thoughts, so feel free to drop a comment below. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.
Absolutely. It's always a joy to have you all tuning in. We're here every day, so be sure not to miss our next chat. Oh, and tell your mates about us. Who knows, you might even get them hooked onto Formula One.
We're incredibly grateful for your continued support, and we can't wait to dive into more thrilling F1 discussions next time.
And remember, folks, good things are always on the horizon, especially here at F1 Motor Fever podcast. Enzo and William, pedal to the metal. Keep your gaze on the road. Our channel's content is pure gold. Thanks for joining us. Catch you at the next one.